Mark. How are
Hi,
you?
how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I know the last time we got to speak was when you first joined the show, and now we've really gotten to see
Yeah,
character development.
yeah.
So congratulations. We love having you on the show.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it.
So I actually want to go off of that for my first question because obviously there's a lot of times where you have to close the book on a character too early. So I wanted to ask, what has been your favorite aspect of getting to reprise this role, getting to see him evolve since you joined the show, and then growing with him, not only as an actor, but as a person?
Ooh, yeah, that's deep. Yeah, I was excited to play him in the beginning because of everything he's dealt with in his past. As an actor, like, the more you have at your disposal in terms of what he's dealing with, the more juicier it is, the more fun, and I knew that he would, be a foster kid, and there's so much trauma in that. And um, also him being a family man and then doing undercover work and how dangerous that is. Yeah, I just thought that was fascinating to play. And um, I thought that a lot of the things we tackled as an actor in season three was so much was gratifying in a way for the character. And I just thought like, wow, like, you know, I get to play this guy who's like going through so much, yet performs so well at his job, and feels fulfilled at it. What does that mean? Is just constantly asking myself, what does this mean? Like, how does that, what is like, how can I bring that to life? And to really show the audience that this guy is so conflicted and yet dealing with so much, and yet, you know, fulfilled and feels like he's in his purpose, and I mean, there's just so much happening there, and then all of a sudden his partner dies, and then he has to deal with loss all over again, and then now the person closest to him becomes his lover, and now he's like, and now that person leaves, and now he's alone again, and plus he got divorced, and his brothers tried to betray him. It's like a lot, right? So it's just like, wow, like so much has happened already, and so yeah, I think as an actor, that's all you can ask for is like to be able to play all these themes and to just find them, and I think at the core of it all is obviously love and him not having it and sort of wanting it and then losing it, and so those things are like, I don't know, I feel very blessed, so it's great.
I was really heartbroken that we didn't get to see a scene between Bobby and Jet. I loved their dynamic. I loved their relationship and that, not seeing them have a goodbye scene. I was so sad about it. Was that ever like planned or discussed for them to have a goodbye moment? And
We
if
did
not,
have one. We
you
did
did.
have
Okay,
one.
tell me
We
about it,
did we
please.
did have one. I don't think they aired it.
They didn't, and I was very sad about it. Can you tell
Yeah.
me what it was supposed to be?
Yeah, so like Jet sort of we're at a bar and we're all like, say goodbye to her, but she comes, I couldn't deal with not saying bye to her. So then she comes and finds me at the bar and she's like, hey, and then I see her and I'm like, man, I don't remember all the words exactly, but it was just sort of like a very Jet way of like sort of connecting with me. And it was cute and, sad at the same time, and just sort of Reyes having to just like accept another loss in his life, however big or small that relationship was, they did care about each other.
Can you tell me about filming that moment?
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked. We were all very sad. And Ainsley is such a good actress.
She's
Like,
one of the most wonderful people
she
ever.
is so dope. And, even as a person, like hanging out with her, like the sweetest person. And like, we still text from time to time. We have like a little group chat, Danielle, her and I. And I don't, she's one of the people I root for because she is so smart and talented. So, you know, I, yeah, we were very sad, and yeah, it is kind of like a really bittersweet moment between us, and it just, but it was such a really great scene, you know. So I'm sad that you guys couldn't see it, but
You got to get them to release it somehow. That
yeah,
was my first reaction
maybe
after
they
the
can
episode.
like do like a, you know, like a deleted scene, you know,
You
exclusive,
definitely,
you know,
yeah,
and just kind of show that. That would be great.
you definitely have. That was my literally my first reaction after the. I was like, where
Yeah.
was the scene? I was like,
No,
oh.
it was there. We did write it, we did shoot it, and it was good. It was really good.
I feel like he really needs a break because, as we discussed, he lost Jamie, and that was such a blow, like to the audience, to your character. It was so heartbreaking the way that was handled. But now also it's a different type of loss with Jet. She's not gone, but she's not there by his side. Is that kind of going to be explored going forward about how those losses affect him and losing another person?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna explore that this season. There's so much happening, you know, and there's so many other loose ends that need to be tied up. Um, but I will let you know that those things are prevalent and alive inside of him, you know. Uh, however, like I'm always in awe of how Reyes is able to deal with, you know, uh, those losses and perform at such a high level. Um, and so, yeah, but those things are definitely present in him for sure.
And one of the things I love about the Law and Order franchise and these shows is obviously a lot of the plots are inspired by real headlines and kind of written
Yeah.
headlines. There's always some amazing social commentary that genuinely impacts viewers way beyond entertainment, which you always walk away with something and you always feel affected. I mean, these episodes, especially in the beginning of the season, really got me. The
Mm,
air episodes. What do you think is the power of using TV to show these cases that don't always get a happy ending? Because you don't always get that happy ending at the end of the show. Sometimes you're just left in that kind of like silence and reality of it all.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, that's art, right? Art gets to take, real life and just sort of like superimpose it for us. And I think the idea is to just in the most truthful way, um allow us to tell our stories, to tell, you know, ideas and things that have happened, you know, and sort of report it in such a way that we can digest it and appreciate it, you know. And yeah, I mean, I think, you know, with the beauty of Law and Order is like, you know, there's just so much there are a lot of themes within these cases, right? You know, and so um, the idea is like to really, you know, highlight these themes and to sort of like use that as the barometer and the North Star in terms of us storytelling and just really, you know, connecting, our audiences and really engaging with them and saying, hey, like, you know, this really bad person is dealing with this thing, this case is about this, but really we're talking about these themes. And I think that's super important. I think that's where art comes into play, you know. So yeah, I think it's great.
And one last quick question for you. Are there any smaller details that help you get into the character's mindset and headspace that maybe audiences wouldn't notice from watching, but is something significant to you that you associate with the character?
I think the most important thing with me, with how I feel about Reyes, is like he's a kid who grew up in foster homes and has dealt with a lot of abandonment and loss. And I always feel as though I never want to abandon that feeling he has inside of him that's never really been resolved. It only gets worse because of the loss that he's continuously had to deal with. And because he doesn't deal with it, I always want that to be present in him. So, in terms of details, like I just feel as though, like, you know, I don't know if I had any details, but like I think in terms of the writing, and I think they do a really good job of this, is just to always to kind of like force him to be to find levity because he's always he's dealing with stuff, but to find that levity, which is real in real life, we don't always want to feel down. We want to get out of how we feel. And I think that's something that he works really hard on. And I think the beauty of him being a cop and being undercover and working with Stabler and working, with the captain and Vargas and these people sort of help him to come out of what he's feeling, So I think those things are always present though.
Rick, congratulations on another season. I hope we get to speak again for another season
Yeah.
soon. And congratulations. Your work is incredible on this show.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life. Comics, movies, and TV. Yeah. Pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.